Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Guapish Rule 34. As always, I am your host, Nico, and today I'm being joined by my co-host, the flamboyant Tanner.
That's right, everyone. I got tired of carrying this podcast on my fucking back, so I'm taking a break and letting Nico host.
So, yeah, you fucking kicked us out for a whole week because you just wanted to have some alone time dealing so much, and now you're crawling back to us. And also, we have a very special guest, the very furtive Jackson.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Konbanwa.
And replacing Dylan today, we have the fertile Tanichi.
I'm not fertile.
Why are you calling us fertile?
You were furtive, Jackson. You
I
weren't
was
fertile.
furtive. My bad. I misheard you.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dylan cannot join us today. He's currently dealing with a rather rough bout with priapism, but, I'm sure he'll make it out of it okay.
Please define priapism.
Yeah, it's when, you have a constant erection and it won't go away.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, boys, Jackson and I were gone for a whole last week, and do you know why?
No, why were you?
Jackson, would you like to explain it to them?
I feel like I gave it away with my lengthy introduction, but yeah, we were in Japan. Specifically, the Tokyo area, and then the Osaka area, and then the Kyoto area. And it was very exciting.
Holy shit, dude. You want to tell us all about it?
Yeah, so basically we were in the Tokyo area, and then later we went to the Osaka area, and then lastly we were in the Kyoto area, and then we left. Nico, what was your favorite part of the trip? Give me your number one memory.
Ooh, that's a solid question. I mean, fucking so much of the food was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I liked bumping up with some people up in the clubs. That was a good time. But probably my favorite thing that happened was on our final night in Japan, we went to a restaurant that was recommended by Abroad in Japan. Go check him out. He has great Japan guides. And while we were there, I thought it was just going to be a nice little restaurant. We were going to sit down and have some yummy food, eat some tempura. It ended up being a very expensive little meal where we got to eat up some yummy tempura. And Jackson was fucking pissed the rest of the night. He was in a sour mood.
I don't know if I'd say I was pissed for the rest of the night, but I definitely was not very excited about spending $150 or whatever the fuck it was on a meal. Yeah. That wasn't the greatest thing. Yeah, no, we walked over there. You had to walk through some tiny little alleyway to get to it. The first question they ask us when we walk up is, "Do you guys have a reservation?" And I was like, "Oh, we're fucked." And then they brought out the menu for us, and there was two options, and you basically have to get a full course meal. And there was one option that was 22,000 yen, I think, and then the other one was 33,000 yen.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh fuck, this is crazy." But I went along with it because I thought it'd be awkward. "Oh yeah, my bad. I'm fucking broke. I'm gonna leave." So yeah, I went with the 22,000 yen option. Nico got the 33,000 yen option, which
was fantastic, by the way. Not at all worth it over the 22,000 one, since I barely got anything extra. But he got
two little extra dishes. I think I even got an extra dish of my own that he didn't get. Yeah, so I really don't know what the fuck that extra 11,000 yen got him. I think most of what you're paying for, though, was the service there. Yeah. Because they were on our shit the entire time. If you ran out of water, they filled it up immediately. The chef was telling you how to eat every single thing they gave you. They were constantly, taking our plates and stuff away if we didn't need them anymore. They were just super, super active with it, which is nice.
Yeah, they put a little bib on me, too.
Did they put it on you? I thought you put it on yourself. They just explained how it worked.
Yeah, they explained how. But I prefer the idea that they would just put it on me.
True.
But yeah. It was a fantastic meal, by the way. I got to try caviar for the first time, which was very delicious.
Yeah, the chef got to watch me fucking fail to pick up half of everything that he gave us. The little caviar thing, for example. I tried picking it up, but it was some jelly cube thing. So I couldn't get a good grip on it. So I immediately just flip it over, and all the caviar is now face down, crushed by the thing on the plate. And I'm fucking fumbling to pick it up. I'm fucking moving it around all over the plate trying to get it, and the guy's just watching me the entire time.
Yeah, he was cheesing big time there.
The best part about the dinner for me was that at some point, I don't know what triggered the waiter to ask this, but for some reason, one of the waiters that was primarily working with us asked me if I spoke Japanese. I didn't really know what the fuck she was saying because she was speaking Japanese, so I just gave her an okay kind of hand symbol. And then for the rest of the dinner, she just spoke exclusive Japanese to me and English to Nico. She even, like, later down the line, like, confirmed, was like, "Are you sure you speak Japanese?" And I was like, "A little." And then she just kept speaking Japanese to me the entire dinner, which was funny as fuck to me.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I conned her into assuming I actually speak Japanese.
That's very funny.
Yeah, and after the meal, she walked us out of the restaurant, and as we were walking away, you know, into the night, we turned around and she was bowing to us. It was very cute.
Yeah, no, she followed. She was bowing us. She was saying bye. It was adorable.
Yeah.
I definitely would not do that again, but I think going to like a luxury dining place is that's a fun thing to do every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like earlier that night, we were complaining about how, like, man, set aside all this money for Japan, and we've basically spent nothing because everything is here just so cheap here. Boy, howdy, did that really come back to bite us afterward.
Yeah, I think for the week we were there, I doubt. I still haven't tallied it. I plan on tallying like the total amount I spent, but I don't think I even spent like $1,000 there. If I did, it was like just over 1,000.
Yeah.
Probably a similar experience with Nico.
Yeah, it was shockingly cheap, I must say. Fantastic experience all around, I'd say.
Yeah, the yen is worth like nothing. Like I'd see a figure, for example. I bought 2 figures, and I see a price tag for them and be like, damn, like 5,500 yen, that's expensive. And then I do the conversion, and it's like $30. I'm like, oh, never mind.
That's fun. Nico, did you like this trip more than last year's?
Oh, absolutely. Because, like, last year, it was fucking February, so it was really cold outside, so I didn't really want to walk around all that much. I just wanted to, fucking, like, get into buildings as quickly as I could so I could get into some nice heat. As well as just, like, you know, there was still, like, COVID restrictions going on last time, so you had to wear, like, a mask at all times, and, like, they had all these rules that they were enforcing. It's like, this isn't the authentic Jahango experience that I'm looking for. Also, this time around, I had Jackson with me, which was fantastic, which I enjoyed, you know?
Radical.
Yeah.
As for my favorite experience while we were in Japan, this one is a pretty easy layup. When we were in Osaka, prior to even going there, I really wanted to rent a car. And the initial plan prior to us getting there was that I was going to rent us a car and we were going to drive it to Kyoto. And then we're going to like drive it back to Osaka and then take the train back to us from Osaka to Tokyo to round out the trip. But I got fucking scared off of that. It's a pretty intimidating prospect to rent a car in a foreign country and then drive it 3 hours to some place you don't know the parking situation of, because parking sucks in Japan. It wasn't nearly as bad as I anticipated it being. There actually is a pretty decent amount of like paid parking areas, but they're pretty few and far between. So yeah, instead of doing that, I went to a rental company called like Mr. Hero's Initial D rental or some shit, and he had a bunch of like cool cars. He had some like built up like replica cars from Initial D. The main selling point is he had like the AE86 Trueno from Initial D. He had like an FDRX7, some other random numbers and letter combinations that you guys don't understand. I rented, in fact, they had like 2 options for things to rent. It was like a Honda S2000 that I think was also like an Initial D replica, but I didn't recognize it. And then also it was the Fast and Furious Supra, and I rented the Fast and Furious Supra. It was pretty close, I think. It definitely didn't have like that much horsepower, because why the fuck would they give like a ton of horsepower to some rental car? But it had the whole livery on it. It didn't have like a big ass wing, but it still had like the stock normal Supra wing. And that was a fun time. Rented that thing, immediately got lost somewhere. They gave me like, go here to take pictures. So I drove over there, and there was just a bunch of like random Japanese guys having like a car meet, and they were taking pictures of each other's cars with like some model. They'd like park in the middle of the street on this like big underpass and take pictures of it, and they were taking turns doing it. Some random white boy, me and the Supra, just pulls up, and I just start talking to them. We're just hanging out for like 45 minutes, basically. They're talking about the cars. They're showing me around their cars. One of them had like a cool Millennium Jade R34 that had like a built, big turbo, all that stuff, a bunch of aero. And the best part about that guy's car is he had a little mini version of his car inside of his car, but it was a tissue box. Pretty cute. Those guys were fun. I added a bunch of them on Instagram. It was a good time. And then I left there and immediately got lost in downtown Osaka, confused as shit. I had no idea where I was going. Made a million wrong turns. You know, even drove down like a one way the wrong direction. Had immediately like park in somebody's fucking parking lot and do like a reverse maneuver. But it was a fun time overall. I enjoyed it. It gave me some
Nico
inspiration.
with you that whole time?
No, he was in like some fake America district of Osaka.
Yeah, it was in America
Gotcha.
Mura. It was fantastic. They had a big old Statue of Liberty on one of the buildings.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good thing.
Yeah, well, like, the restaurant was definitely, like, my favorite singular, like, thing to do while we were there. I think, like, generally my favorite, like, actual activity to participate in, though, was just, like, fucking chatting up some of the locals, you know, or just, like, people in general, because it's just such a grand old time to be able to get these different perspectives on life, you know, and just, like, really connect with others. So, like, for example... there were quite a few times where, like, I went to, like, some bars, you know. I went to the fucking Drunken Clam from Family Guy. Don't know how they haven't been sued their pants off yet, but they had a Drunken Clam from Family Guy there. The fucking bartender there was Russian. He was a real cool guy. He was chatting it up with me. Did a little karaoke while I was there. A real good time. I also went to a nightclub as well. I wanted to go to more, but alas, I passed out too early each day because we were just so sleepy. We kept waking up super fucking early each day. And Tanner.
Yeah.
Earlier, not earlier today, but, like, you know, earlier in general, the royal earlier, you had asked us, boys, did you fuck some of them Japanese girls while you were there?
I'm not gonna believe you if you tell me you did.
Tanner, I am happy to report I did not.
Okay.
Despite my best attempts, alas, I feel like a big issue is that, like, I feel like I need to, like... have the other person, like, really initiate things and be, like, really wanting to go after you, you know?
Yeah, that's a real winning strategy with women, right?
Yeah, because, like, otherwise, like, you know, fucking trying to, like, hook up with someone at a club, that's really the only way in which I can really do that. Because otherwise, I feel like I treat them like people too much, you know? And you're not gonna get anywhere with that, unfortunately.
Nico never even tried to do the grabbing strategy, you know?
I didn't try the grabbing strategy that I heard.
The time-tested strategy of, yeah, grabbing a Japanese girl, and if they don't resist, then they're yours.
Exactly.
What do you do if they do resist?
Then you let go.
And then repeat, right?
Exactly. Just
exactly.
keep going until you find
These
one.
white guys just
God.
keep grabbing girls at this bar.
Yeah. I wish I was able to do some more nightlife stuff, too. I went to a bar with Nico one night and had the worst Negroni of my life. It tasted like I was just drinking fucking cough syrup the entire time. And then I left. Because for the same reason as Nico, I was just, like, absurdly tired. Even more so than Nico. I was going to bed at, like, 10 o'clock every night, basically. Except for, like, I think the last night where we were up till, like, 11 because we had a strong zero, which is, like, one of those super high ABVs kind of drinks. That just tastes like juice. It did not taste like juice. It definitely tasted like alcohol. But the big thing for me, the worst part about the trip for me, was that I was just in overwhelming pain the entire fucking time. Nico can vouch for the fact that I was bitching 24/7 about it. The first
day completely destroyed him.
Yeah, no, well, I guess the second day, the first day was basically we got to our hotel and just fucking passed out. Like,
I don't even count that one.
Yeah, I don't either. But the first day when we were walking to our actual, technically, second hotel, we dropped off our luggage, but I still had my backpack, and we did a bunch of shopping in the Akihabara area, and did a ton of walking as well. And because of me just lugging around my backpack, I fucking destroyed my hips, I destroyed my back, I destroyed my feet, and for the rest of the trip, my feet, on like the insides of them, were just in constant, shocking pain. My hips felt like I was fucking 70 years old walking around with them bitches. My back wasn't too bad, honestly. But yeah, no, for the rest of the trip, my feet were just in constant, sharp pain every time I took a step. My hips got a little bit better near the end, but yeah, that fucking sucked. I literally have blood blisters on my toes because I was in so much pain. It sucked. That definitely took a little bit from the trip for me, and I found a strategy to not have to wear my backpack by just like putting it on top of my luggage and carrying them all at once. But yeah, that was a fucking stinker. That stunk. Probably should have done a bit more cardio prior to the trip so I could have got myself more ready for it, maybe.
You should have, like, hit up an onsen or some of the massage parlors with me, man. That would have gotten you feeling right as rain.
A massage maybe would have helped. I tried taking a bath to solve the problem one of the nights, and it did literally nothing, so I don't think an onsen would have fixed it at all, but you know.
Dude, onsens have minerals in them, though.
Yeah, kiss my fucking farts.
And the women.
Yeah, well, you know,
No.
generally they're gender fucking segregated.
Even if it was a mixed bath, it's almost definitely just gonna be a bunch of like old people in there. It's not like some fucking hot young girl. Like, let's go to the public bath with all the old men that like to go
I
in the
don't
mixed
know.
part.
I've seen animes.
Yeah, it's not how that works, unfortunately. Yeah, Nico, how were your 2 massage experiences? You went to 2 while you were there.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic, to be perfectly honest. Okay, well, the first one wasn't that great. So prior to like actually going there, I did like look up some Google reviews, you know, just to make sure they're on the up and up. You know, they ain't doing a little some of that backdoor action for you while you're there. You know, a little happy ending, as it were. So I made sure that it was all good. But while I was looking at the reviews, one of them talked about, actually several of them talked about how like, oh yeah, this one lady there, she doesn't even give you a massage. She just fucking rubs you the entire time. And I was thinking, well, fuck it, why not? It's like $20, so I'll give it a shot anyway. And that first time, I did in fact get the lady who just rubs you the entire time. But it wasn't all that bad, you know, it's like, fucking whatever. It still feels nice, so I don't mind all that much. The second time around, though, yeah, I definitely got a really fucking proper massage. That lady fucking destroyed me, but boy, was I feeling great afterwards. As I was going to the massage parlor, I was having a little trouble figuring out where exactly it was, because it's just like this big old building. It's just like a little room there. And luckily for me, just like sitting in the fire exit smoking a cigarette was a lady boy who told me, oh, the massage parlor's right there, right in this door. I was like, fucking fantastic. Thanks, lady boy. So that helped me out a lot. Also, at one point, I was walking back from one of the clubs. There was a lady who stopped me and was like, oh, you want massage? Happy ending by beautiful Japanese woman. And I had to tell her, I'm sorry, no. And me saying no to her gave her the look of just fucking pure dissatisfaction. Like I had destroyed her entire world. I don't know why this was so shocking to her that I didn't want to get a happy ending from a beautiful Japanese woman, but I just don't think there was any chance of her being consoled at that point.
She thinks you're racist now.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't have anything close to that happening to me, but when I was walking back from the bar, there was like some... she didn't look like she was working anywhere. It was just like some random girl that was like standing in front of some of like the gacha machines. And she like tried to get my attention. I was walking by her and I just completely fucking ignored her. I do wonder what she was wondering about, you know. Was she asking for help or something? Who knows? Was she trying to scam me? Who knows? I just completely fucking ignored her. I was just like, I'm gonna go home. I'm tired of shit. I want to fucking talk to you. Yeah, my favorite thing just in general about the trip was just walking around. That's mostly what I did. I just like walked around the cities all the fucking time. Saw a bunch of cool cars, took a bunch of pictures of that stuff.
Yeah, you wouldn't shut up about those cool cars, dude.
They were fucking awesome! But yeah, no, I was mostly just doing a whole lot of walking around, especially in Osaka. Like, Nico and I were actually not together for a decent amount of the trip. And whenever I wasn't with him, I was either sitting in the hotel because I was in excruciating pain, or I was just walking around aimlessly having a grand old time.
Yeah. Which I feel like that's a lot of the fun of walking around a foreign country, you know? Just exploring a little bit.
Yeah, there was that one time when it was like our second day in Osaka, and we're just walking around in like the neighborhood area, just trying to find like a temple or something generic. And some random Japanese woman on a bicycle like pointed at a temple across the street, and she was like, oh yeah, like flowers blooming or something, and then she just like rode her fucking bike across the street and didn't say anything more. We're like, oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, and then we walked in there, and it was a beautiful little temple. You know, the flowers were in fact blooming. Can't
she wasn't lying to us.
Yeah, so I appreciated that. We almost like interrupted like a funeral or something that was going on at another one. You know, it was a rough time.
Yeah, Jackson really wanted to get into that funeral. I had to stop him. He also tried to get into a women's bathroom at one point. I had to fucking yank him back.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm trying to see what's up in there.
Oh yeah, I did think that there was a shimmer of hope at one point at one of the nightclubs, though. You see, at one point, I was dancing. I was getting down with my bad self, all right? And at some point, I saw that there was this gorgeous, short-ass woman, okay? She gave me them eyes, you know, she was Myron, and so we started busting it down, boys. We was grooving so much. It was fantastic. I was like, oh my gosh, this might be it. I might be able to get down with a Japanese woman tonight. And then, you know, she fucking pulls me aside because it's really loud in there. She wants to chat. And to my surprise, she speaks perfect English. And it's through our conversation that I find out, oh, she's an American. She's from Texas. Also, she hates America, apparently. That's pretty cool, you know? I told her, you know, I also hate America. Isn't that a strange coincidence?
You're such a fucking simp. I have never seen a simp who gets less action than you, though.
What? You lie to get sex? Who does that? What are you, a simp? Like, if you're just, like, at a fucking nightclub trying to hook up with some woman, and she's like, I hate America, are you immediately gonna be like, fuck you, bitch, I love America? No, you're gonna fucking be trying to do whatever you can to get...
I'm not gonna agree with her. I'm gonna be like, whoa, okay, that's why you're here. I direct the conversation. I don't need to fucking lie to her face.
I agree.
I hard disagree.
That's crazy.
But it didn't even work, so what are you disagreeing with
Okay, so
here?
look here, let me explain why it didn't work here,
I
buddy.
think lying is way better.
Sometimes you gotta lie, man, to achieve your goals, alright? So, it's really fucking loud in here, and as a result, we need to fucking, like, smash our faces together this entire conversation, okay? It was sweet. And, you know, at some point, I asked her, hey, by the way, are you, like, here with any friends or anything like that? Like, you're just exploring this country on your own? To which she replies, oh, no. I'm here on my honeymoon.
Ah.
And then, well, goddamn, I guess that,
Then you just had this look, this fucking grimace come over your face.
honeymoon, you say?
Are you trying to cheat, perchance?
Why was it that your
I hear good
follow-up
things
is-
about these love hotels in this country. Would you like to check one out with me, perhaps?
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately that did not go anywhere. It was very sad, but you know, I got to talk to some Irishmen as well that night. I chatted with one Japanese guy who was there who had some very choice words about Oppenheimer. It was just a gay old time, you know?
What does that mean?
Yeah, like the movie.
What
or
did
the...
he say about it?
He was just going on and on about how, like, the government was trying to censor the film so that they didn't know what actually happened.
The Japanese government?
Yeah.
Huh.
He was an interesting fellow.
Speaking of love hotels, though, our first night there was, in fact, at a love hotel. The taxi driver dropped us off at one. Pretty funny. Because that's the one that Nico booked. Because they're cheap. They're pretty fucking cheap. But they're also cheap for a reason. They're not very great. I think generally the location of ours was fine. We're just surrounded by a bunch of other love hotels, but we're kind of just like downtown Tokyo. The problem with it was that we didn't understand anything about how like the key drop-off system worked at all. The way all their signage and like the way I'm thinking cashier, but what the fuck, the receptionist,
Front desk lady.
Yeah, was talking to us, through a little translator thing device she had. Made it sound like it was like a one night kind of thing, because like, why the fuck else would you go to a love hotel? We plan on staying there 2 days, but we only stayed there one because they're like, I don't know how the fuck any of this works. It sounds like they're gonna want us gone after day one, because like, why the fuck would you go to a love hotel for anything longer than like a night? That doesn't make any sense. You go there to fucking then leave. But yeah, so we left that one, but that place was okay. They had a bunch of porn on the TV, you know how it is, condoms and shit everywhere. They had like some trashy, like colorful bathroom.
Did you guys hear anyone fucking?
Oh yeah.
I think the morning after the night we were hearing somebody fucking, but maybe it was like some weird bird. I don't know. It was we were hearing something, but it sounded like something fucking, but who knows?
Fucking or some weird bird.
Yeah, it sounded like it was from the inside the building. Yeah. The big thing that sucked about that place though was it just smelled so bad in the room. Not for like it didn't smell like cum or anything. It just smelled like cigarettes because they let you smoke cigarettes in those hotels. It was horrible. Also, there was like a fucking somebody like busted on like the end of my side of the bed too. So I had that on my sheets, which is cool.
Did you guys have sex?
No.
I tried, dude.
I was too tired. I couldn't put out that night.
Insane.
Yeah, it was very sad, but you know, c'est la vie. Overall, I would say it was a fantastic trip. I was a big fan.
Yeah, I enjoyed my time. I'd want to go again. That first trip inspired me to want to go for a longer amount of time, especially I want to explore Kyoto more. Because Kyoto's a really pretty city, and we were only there for like a day, and then the day after we just walked through the city to get to the fucking train station. We didn't do anything there.
Yeah.
Which stunk, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, Jackson really wanted to rent a kimono while we were there.
True, I wouldn't shut up about it. There was like a shop for renting kimonos like every other store. It was crazy. They were all over the place.
Yeah.
Also, goddamn, they have so many graveyards fucking everywhere. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Basically, every temple is a graveyard, from what I noticed. Or if it's not primarily a graveyard, it has a graveyard. We went to like some temple that was across the street from our ryokan, like our fancy Japanese hotel. And yeah, it was basically just like a massive graveyard. They had like some traditional temple stuff, but like half of it was basically just mass graveyard. Fun time.
Yeah. Jackson also would not shut up about the sheer variety of baddies we were seeing the entire time while we were there.
Yeah, no, it's like a 50-50 chance a girl my age that's Japanese was like, damn, she's kind of fucking hot. whereas it's more like a 5% chance here in the States, I would say.
Yeah, it was truly astonishing that like every 30 seconds or so I'd see a woman and be like, damn, that's my future wife right there.
I've refined my type to a purity here. It's a short Asian chick with a good jawline.
Yeah, one who mews regularly.
Nice and square. There was like one chick at the airport when we were leaving that I kept fucking staring at me, to be completely honest. I was like, this chick is like the most attractive woman I've ever seen. I pointed her out to Nico, and he's like, probably, yeah, she's alright.
No, I thought she was cute, you know? She's pretty good looking. Of course,
Yeah,
I couldn't really
exactly.
see her super well, like when you initially pointed her out, so I had to walk up to her and stare at her for a little bit, just sit down at her table.
But that was like straight up, that was like the first girl I've seen in quite some time where I like actually want to like approach them. But also we're at a fucking airport, and she probably doesn't speak English, so I was like, this would just be a massive recipe for failure.
Yeah, and her mom sat down across from her at some point.
And I'm like, yeah, hey, I'm about to leave the fucking country, and you don't know a word of what I'm saying, but like, I think you're beautiful. Let's go. But yeah, overall,
Come
trip
to
was pretty
America
good.
with me.
Yeah, please come with me, please, please. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the trip. The flights fucking sucked. Didn't get any sleep on them, and for like 16 hours. Horrible.
Oh yeah, there were crying
flights-
babies on like every fucking leg of our journey.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to talk about Japan.
Yeah. Tanner, Tanichi, do you guys have any burning questions in your hearts for us?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
none really.
Okay.
Tanner, are you joining us the next time we go to Japan?
You know, I'd love to, but I'd say the odds are low.
Yeah, fair enough, dude. Also, you hate foreign countries, so...
You just spend his entire time in America.
Let me be
Yeah.
clear. I hate foreigners. The countries themselves, I'm fine with.
Especially because they're not foreigners in their own country.
Yeah, exactly. You're just hating yourself the entire time.
Yeah, that's my little loophole there. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't believe they fucking let me in here.
You
What
just
were
keep
they
chanting
thinking?
to yourself, get out of the country, get out of the country.
Go back home, damn you. If you can't speak the language, fucking... Yeah.
Yeah, there was a ton of foreigners there, by the way. Massive amounts of foreigners. I mean, we were at just like the 3 big tourist trap cities, in fairness. But it was like a good like 40% of people walking around were foreigners, basically.
Yeah, we were going there during like peak tourist season, so it makes sense. Alright, and with that, boys, Tanner Nikolai, you have some fucking bullshit you wanted to do today, is that correct?
That's right, I have some bullshit. I have a new thing that we're gonna do, a new style of thing, you know, and by style of I mean, you know, we have our tier list episodes, we have quiz episodes, you know, challenge episodes, so this is a new thing in that kind of vein. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a bracket, a tournament. So yeah, this is gonna be our best dessert tournament. So I asked all 4 of our main hosts what their 5 favorite desserts were. Put them all in this bracket, and we are now going to fucking find, you know, head-to-head all of them, 1v1s, etc., etc. We're gonna find out what the best dessert is, and see whose it is, even. If we have to force... Nah, we'll just... How do we handle tiebreakers?
Flip a coin.
Yeah, no, I think just doing a 50-50 would probably be the easiest method of doing it.
I guess we can flip coins. That's kind of lame. I'm very disappointed in Dylan for not being here. Anyway, we'll just default to whichever one gets 2 of our votes.
Oh yeah,
I was about to make a really out of
3/5
pocket
a vote.
joke, right?
Yeah, we got the 3/5 compromise working with us here, thankfully.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here today.
Round 1, we are doing carrot cake versus white chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
Now, Tanichi, as an avid food lover yourself, which one are you wanting to back here?
I mean, carrot cake, clearly.
He loves food, and yet he has no palate, apparently. Obviously, white chocolate macadamia nut cookies are superior.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to be backing carrot cake as well. I feel like it's a much moister and more filling dessert. And I just feel like I could eat more carrot cake than I can eat white chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
I thought you just said it's more filling.
Yeah. That's the fun thing. It's more filling, and also you can eat more.
I see.
Anyways, Jackson.
This is a very hard one to rank for me because I love both of these desserts. I probably would be partial to carrot cake though as well. I really like white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. I'd say they're probably like in my top 3 favorite cookies. The big thing though is that I just don't really like cookies as a dessert that much. I think if they're like fresh out of the oven, they're really fucking good. They're super top tier. But 95% of the time when I eat cookies, it is, you know, when they've been sitting around for a while, and that's not super exciting most of the time. So I'd say generally carrot cake tops white chocolate macadamia nut cookies for me.
Okay, fantastic. Carrot cake, the winner. Moving on to round 2 against our number 1 seed, cheesecake versus carrot cake. This is a classic New York style cheesecake.
Cheesecake, low diff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not even really a competition, is it? Cheesecake is clearly the better dessert.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't like cheesecake that much. I'm saying carrot cake still.
I am also going cheesecake, however, so...
Blasted.
R.I.P. carrot cake. Aye. We have chocolate cake versus butter pecan ice cream.
Chocolate cake, easy.
Yeah, chocolate cake.
Yeah, it's free again.
I've never had butter pecan ice cream. I'm sorry, Dylan. I'm sure if I tried it, it would maybe be delicious.
I think it's hard for much ice cream to beat out like a whole ass cake.
Yeah. By the way, Dylan has a weirdly refined palate for desserts.
Everyone knows what he likes.
Yeah,
I think he's just trying to flex on his dessert knowledge. I'm not entirely sure how much of these he actually likes.
Well, he's got a brother that does catering, so maybe he tries a lot of them because of that.
Okay.
Potentially.
Maybe.
I don't really know how much he really interacts with his brother enough to do something like that, though. Does he have, like, tiramisu on here?
He doesn't.
That's honestly shocking.
We're going apple crisp versus coffee cake.
Oh, coffee cake.
Apple crisp.
I've never had an apple crisp coffee cake.
I'm going apple crisp. I like my coffee flavored things cold.
Coffee cake isn't even coffee flavored.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
You just eat
I've
it
never
with
had
coffee.
either.
I was about to
these.
say, Tanner, have you had coffee
I've
cake?
never had either of these. Coffee cake hot as
I've had
well?
those-
What?
I've had those little, like, Hostess coffee cake things before.
And you've had them hot?
Is an apple crisp the same thing as, like, an apple turnover?
Yeah, they're pretty similar, but like apple crisp have like cinnamon and stuff in it. Normally, they're a bit more exciting than just a regular turnover.
Yeah, I'm still going apple crisp.
Apple crisp are fucking awesome. I want an apple crisp right now. Those things are amazing.
Okay, let's do the Boston cream pie versus the strawberry cheesecake.
Oh, Boston cream pie every day, dude. I love myself a good cream pie.
I actually don't know if I've ever had a cream pie before.
It's about time to start, dude.
The big thing though is I don't really like cheesecakes, so it's hard to compare something I haven't had to something I don't particularly like. But what the fuck is a cream pie? Is it just like super? I mean, I can kind of infer what it is based on the name, but like describe it for me a bit.
All right, so are you familiar with a cream pie?
Vaguely.
All right, so imagine that, but like if someone from Boston made it.
Dude, I'm saying strawberry cheesecake.
Okay, so to be clear, by the way, Jackson, it's not actually a pie at all. I don't know why it's called
It's like
that.
is it like a cake?
Yeah, it's more like a cake. I'll send you a cute little pic of it here. They look rather delicious, I must say. Yeah, check that out. A little peep it real quick.
Dude, well, I already gave my vote, so what can I say?
Dude, you can change your vote.
It's already been submitted.
Tragic. I'm also going strawberry cheesecake.
This might surprise you guys. Boston cream pie.
Holy shit.
Can we get a recount here? Jackson, he locked in his vote. He wasn't able to really fully consider it, I think.
That is a delectable looking little dessert he sent a picture of right there.
Jackson, would you change your vote to a Boston cream pie?
I would. That is a delectable looking little thing. It looks,
Alright, we're gonna do that then. Okay. The Shamrock Shake versus a chocolate shake. I am the world's biggest Shamrock Shake defender. I love these fucking things, and frankly, the fact that they're only around for a couple of months out of the year just makes me want them that much more.
Dude, it's literally just a mint shake.
I was gonna say, isn't it just like a minty shake?
Yeah.
I would probably pick it just because it's a bit more like spice than just a fucking regular ass chocolate shake.
This is a tough one for me because it really just depends on what mood I'm in at any given time, you know? Like, I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of feeling the Shamrock Shake more. So, yeah, I guess I'll go for that one.
Fantastic. Tanichi?
Chocolate shake.
Bummer.
Yeah. They're
Alright. chocolate lava cake
How
versus...
the fuck is this even a competition here, Tanner?
The lava cake.
Yeah, lava cake.
Yeah,
You
lava
guys are
cake.
cringe. I love the simplicity of vanilla ice cream. It's just something calming. Anyway, fine.
Yeah, I don't think vanilla ice cream is bad, but like if you're comparing it directly to like some cake, then I don't think there's any competition here.
I'm a big ice cream guy, so...
Fair enough.
Tanichi didn't even vote.
It doesn't even matter.
He
Tanichi,
did.
what's your
He
opinion,
said
though?
chocolate lava cake.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he
I
did.
did.
Dude, you're just so quiet, we couldn't hear you.
L. I forgot to do this round here, which we should have done first. Cookie bottom brownie, so brownies with a layer of cookie on the bottom, versus Rocky Road ice cream.
Yeah, cookie bottom brownies.
I'd actually go Rocky Road on this one. The cookie bottom brownie sounds kind of annoying.
How so?
Maybe if it's like fresh out of the oven, but like it just seems like it'd get really hard and kind of like annoying and crumbly.
It doesn't though, Jackson. You've literally had them before.
That's crazy. I'm still saying Rocky Road ice cream.
Damn.
Yeah, Rocky Road ice cream.
Interesting. Okay.
I like Rocky Road.
If Rocky Road had like walnuts instead of almonds, I would fuck with it so hard. But I just don't like almonds in my ice cream, and I do like a good cookie bottom brownie. I haven't had a good one in many a year, but they exist out there. Next round, the blackberry cobbler versus key lime pie.
Dude, I don't give a fuck about either of these. So, a cobbler sounds okay, so let's go with that. If I like just pick out all the blackberries, then I think it'll be fantastic.
That's all that it is. Blackberry cobbler, easy. Key lime pie is kind of just okay.
Yeah, the cobbler.
You guys are fucking insane. It's key
Cobbler-
lime pie all day, but
Cobbler is fucking awesome, dude. You never had a good blackberry cobbler if you're saying that.
you guys are
I'm
so
really not like
crazy.
a massive lime guy, you know, and so eating something that's just like overpoweringly lime doesn't really interest me that
Dude,
much.
I love lime. I love lime and lemon flavored desserts.
I love putting that lime in the coconut, you know.
They're not even
sure
really
do.
black.
Fucking, I love. Next
Apple
round.
pie, apple pie, apple pie.
Apple pie versus cookie bottom brownies. We've got Jackson for apple pie.
Man, fuck apple pie. I'm going with the brownies.
And I'm also going apple pie. El Bozo. Alright, here we go. We are in, what is this, the quarterfinals?
Yeah.
Quarterfinals. Cheesecake versus chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Fuck. It's getting
Alright.
too far, damn it.
Apple crisp versus Boston cream pie.
Boston cream pie. Every day,
Apple.
dude.
Apple crisp.
Apple crisp.
I agree with apple crisp.
Bummer.
Fruit desserts keep winning.
The Shamrock Shake versus a chocolate lava cake.
Cake.
Yeah, the cake, pretty easy here. We're speedrunning them now that we've like already given explanations of all of
Yeah,
them.
chocolate.
I hate you guys.
I'm sorry, dude. Lava cake is just so good.
Are any of my picks even still in? Blackberry cobbler versus apple pie.
Cobbler, I guess.
Cobbler.
Apple pie. This is a hard one though.
Apple pie, this was an easy one. You guys. I don't know why I said you guys.
You gotta try it. Nice blackberry cobbler, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, guys, we are into the semifinals now. Cheesecake versus apple crisp.
Cheesecake.
Apple crisp.
Apple crisp.
Cheesecake. I'm sorry, it just has to be done.
Recount the votes. He is a full person.
And then we have chocolate lava cake versus apple pie.
Lava cake.
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
What?
Let's fucking
So,
go.
unsurprisingly, we have wound up with our number 1 and 2 seeds in the finale. So,
Who would have thought?
for all the marbles, cheesecake versus apple pie.
Okay, now, I know that I will very obviously lose votes for saying this, but apples do not belong in dessert. No
Yeah,
fruit
shut the
does
fuck
for
up.
that matter. It just takes
And
away
cheese
from
does?
Yes, obviously cheese does, dude. That's straight from a cow's udder, okay? That's from an animal, not from a fucking tree. Fuck you, apple pie. I'm going cheesecake.
Nico's like retarded or something. He's got like something weird going on in his brain. Bro, fucking like half the world desserts literally are just like fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the part of the world that I believe needs to be napalmed.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, cheesecake fucking sucks. There's some variety with it, but like apple pie is just so flavorful. It's so filling. There's so much you can do with it. It's just delicious.
Dude, I literally had your Gmaw's apple pie that you said this is the best apple pie in the entire world. This is going to be what changes you. What makes you come and see the light of the apple pie. And Jackson, I fucking ate a big old bite of that apple pie because I believed in you, Jackson. I believed in your opinions. I thought, you know what, this Jackson guy, he seems to know what's what. I feel like this might be my coming to Jesus moment. And I fucking spat out your grandma's apple pie and I said, this is fucking filth.
Unfortunately, you just have bad taste in this one. There's nothing you can do to fix it.
Look, dude, I'm sorry, but I can't help the fact that my opinions are just right and I have such a big penis, okay?
I like apple pie.
Tanner, where are you landing on this?
This is a tough one. And here's the thing. I think the best apple pie is better than the best cheesecake. But I think the average cheesecake is better than the average apple pie.
But like, why are you eating a bad dessert, man? You're eating the
why
good
are you
shit,
eating
dude.
average dessert?
What's the point of that, man?
Yeah, cool.
Ooh, fuck. Man, it's so tough. It's so tough. You got that cheesy goodness, also that apple. And I only eat apple pie when I'm like on holiday and I'm around my friends and family. You know, I mostly eat cheesecakes alone by myself.
And they make those moments even better, okay? They're what brings a smile to your face in your darkest times, Tanner.
Right.
Dude, I love taking a spoon to a thing of cheesecake, putting it in my mouth, and just going, damn, that shit's fucking mid.
I've never had a bad apple pie.
You've never had a bad apple
And you're still picking it.
Why would he not pick it given that? What the fuck are you saying?
He said he's never had an apple pie.
He said he's never had a
bad
bad
Oh,
apple
gotcha,
pie.
never mind.
Okay, so I am truly the tiebreaker here. Fuck. This is so tough. What's funny is apple pie was on my list. So, but this is still a tough choice.
What I think is funny about this is that Nico and I are like the antithesis. Like, we both don't like the other option on
Right,
this
yeah.
list, which is pretty funny.
I'm gonna go cheesecake.
No! Let's fucking go! Fuck you, Jackson, your grandma's apple pie. I hope she fucking chokes on it and dies.
Oh my god, dude, what the
Jesus
fuck?
Christ.
Tanner, do you want to rescind your vote given this new information?
No,
Do you want to
think
be in
we
the same
just-
party as this maniac?
Damn, you're right. Fuck. Anyways, cheesecake is the best dessert. Thank you for joining us for our very first tournament. I'm sure there will be many like it.
That's right, we've just entered our tournament arc. And with that, boys, speaking of arcs, I think it might just be time at this point. We've been putting it off for a while now, but I think we finally got to get around to it. The fans have been craving it. It's time for Guapish at the movies. Guapish at the movies.
Fucking.
What are you even singing? What is that?
It was a very poor attempt at the Dragon Ball thing.
I
Oh,
was gonna say,
gotcha.
thankfully, Happy Feet is it's a karaoke song, so you could have just sang any
yeah.
song and it
Yeah, it's a
probably would have been the
jukebox
movie.
musical after all.
push me, cause I'm.
Anyways, we're not talking about Happy Feet yet. Our Patreon pick for this week was, in fact, the 2009 film Dragon Ball Evolution, as requested by Lucas Ledet. Fuck you, Lucas Ledet. Thanks for giving us the movie. We loved it. Thank you. Anyways, I guess, Tanner, you take it away. You love this film.
So, this is a movie based on the Dragon Ball series, kind of. We get some opening narration about how King Piccolo is back and he's evil. And then we see Goku, and he's training with his grandpa. And then he's at a high school, and then the Dragon Balls, and then his grandpa gets killed by Piccolo, and then he has to get the Dragon Balls, and he meets Bulma, and he meets Yamcha, and he meets Master Roshi, and there's some training, kind of, and then they get a couple of the Dragon Balls, and then they lose all the Dragon Balls, and they find Piccolo, who has the Dragon Balls, and then they fight him, and he turns into a big monkey, but then he realizes that the true monkey was the one inside him all along, and then he Kamehamehas, and they win. And they bring back Mr. Roshi, who is fucking dead or something.
Dude, I love Master Roshi. I wish he was more of a pedophile in this film.
Anyway, here's my haiku as inspired by Dragon Ball Evolution. Piccolo returns. Emo Goku finds his balls. Kamehameha.
Kamiya Mama.
This movie fucking sucks. The acting is really bad. The plot is super fucking both generic and incredibly poorly written. They forget shit all the time. They have massive oversights all the time. All the characters are really very they're very poorly written. It's just an absolute disaster of a film. And honestly for me, this movie wasn't even that funny too. Like, with a film like this, you'd expect going into it, at least I'm gonna get some laughs out of it. Nah, I really didn't think it was that funny. I thought it was just kind of fucking boring and bad.
Yeah, it's not funny, mostly because it's just confusing. Like, everything you're doing, you're like, well, why would they do that? Why would they say that? Why would they choose to deliver that line like that? Like, it almost defies comprehension, this film.
Especially just with the main character. He is just so painfully awkward and unlikable, like, the entire movie. And they kind of try to have him, like, have a little bit of a character arc, but it's so forced and fast-paced that you can't even really perceive it as an arc. He just, like, suddenly is just, like, a more confident person for no fucking reason. Especially his interactions with Chi-Chi. Yeah. Holy shit, I wanted to rip out my hair. It is so hard to watch. And it's like everyone, like, why is this woman into him? He blew open some fucking lockers and that's it, and that sparked it all. Jesus Christ.
Makes him seem mysterious, dude. It's like, ooh, you have this power that I also have? That's cool. We, like, kind of connect on that level. You want to, like, beat up my boyfriend maybe for me? That'd be pretty cool. You want to fuck me in front of him? I think that'd be pretty sweet, you know? You want me to turn into another woman and then, like, you know, you can beat the shit out of me? I'd like that. But yeah, as Jackson said, this movie is just fucking riddled with cliches, and it's a fucking paper-thin plot that just you find no way of possibly caring about. They spend so much time teaching Goku, like, oh man, you're like this martial arts master, Goku. Look at all this cool shit that you can do. And the final fight, they just kind of float up into the air and do a big Kamehameha. That's about it.
I think it's funny too, is like, Dragon Ball has so much going on with it, so many cool elements and stuff, and this movie just took all of the most surface level details of it and bastardizes it. I don't really give a shit about Dragon Ball at all. I used to be a little bit into it as a child, so looking at it from just like a bad adaptation standpoint isn't really something I was doing, but holy shit, this movie, like, even my surface level knowledge of Dragon Ball, this movie just fucking, it's, oh my god, like, it doesn't even try sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, Dragon Ball is like some space martial arts shit, so it's just gonna be like some martial arts movie. Like, they even fucked up how Kamehamehas work. Like, that should have been an easy layup, and it's like the most lame thing ever. Like, come on, suck my farts.
Yeah, literally the only pro I can give it is that the line delivery of the Kamehameha when he did the big one was fine. Visually, it looked fucking stupid, but, you know, he said it with a proper amount of intensity, I guess.
Yeah. The only pro I can give is that Bulma's hot, but, like, you know, other than that, I mean...
Bulma is kind of hot. Honestly, yeah. Chi-Chi's also kind of hot, but, like, she's a big-titted Asian. She's a big-titted Asian chick, so it was an easy layup for me.
Yeah.
She has a square jaw, too. Come on, man.
Holy shit. I think it's her eyes that are the big issue for me.
She has such pretty eyes, though, man. What are you talking about?
I think they're, like, too close together or something.
He thought they were too diagonal.
Yeah, I didn't notice them. Yeah, no, she's got positive canthal tilt. That's a turn off for him.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. She had just like such
monolids.
Yeah, she just had such like deep looking eyes. Like, I just get like fucking. She's like one of those chicks that like gets crazy eyes if she stares a little bit too much.
Yeah. This entire review is just reviewing Chi-Chi. Yeah, no, fucking the love bullshit going on with the one dude that trapped them in a hole and Bulma is like, it's ridiculous as well. What the fuck? Oh yeah, there are fucking comedic moments in this movie that they do with him and shit like that. They all just fall flat every single time.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie is it's just horrible. There's like plenty of just like random little nitpicky details you could point out about like the writing being stupid. I was like constantly pointing out things when we're watching the movie and you guys were constantly just going, just don't think about it. Oh, they forgot about it. Things like that. Like, one of the funny things is they make this whole setup of like when they're in the volcano area of like taking the monsters and throwing them into the lava so he can make a bridge to get across. Yeah. So he does that. He fights some the shape-shifting chick. He like punches her and they just completely forget about her.
Yeah.
Like right after that happens. And then all the other characters just fucking walk around the lava. They don't even take the fucking bridge he made. So he didn't have to take the bridge he made. They all just fucking show up on the other side and completely forget and don't talk about the fight he just had with like the fucking minion of Piccolo. It's ridiculous. This movie, it's like they had like one writer and he was drunk the entire time. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and they're fucking, like, the whole Ozaru thing as well just made absolutely zero fucking sense. Where it's like, oh yeah, like a long time ago, Piccolo, he had this minion called Ozaru, and he was really fucking powerful. But once Piccolo got sealed away, Ozaru disappeared. But Goku, you're actually Ozaru. When you crash land on Earth 17 years ago or whatever, it's like, well, so what was Ozaru doing the entire time? Where did he come from? Why did he become Goku?
It is still pretty funny though. There's like a bunch of just like white people. Like this, like the whitest man you've ever seen in your life, and his name's fucking Goku. Like, come on. Yeah. How can you possibly take this movie seriously at all? Jesus Christ.
Well, you know, he was taken in by an old Asian man, so it makes sense. He's just
they had like
a
weird setting of like it was like Japan, America mixed together. Very strange.
Yeah.
Jamaica.
Yeah, Tinchi, you didn't watch this movie this week, but do you have any overarching thoughts about it?
I've actually seen this movie, and it's better than Happy Feet.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Yeah.
That's some fucking copium right there. But you know, I respect it. I don't like Happy Feet either.
I think Happy Feet is one of the worst things ever made.
One of the worst things.
Yeah.
My man is the #1 Happy Feet hater. I don't like Happy Feet either, but I don't know if I'd go that far. We've watched Cuties before, and like a Serbian film.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I'd rather watch a Serbian film over Happy Feet again.
Any final thoughts here, or should we get on to the rankings?
Rankings.
Yeah. Right here, Dylan's thoughts on the movie. Whoa!
Alright, so this is my review for Dragon Ball Evolution. This was an interesting one. I can say this was a experiential view for sure. I think this is something you probably can see once. I don't really like how they I don't even think retconned is the proper word for this, but they just retconned the entire story of Goku and Dragon Ball. You could definitely tell they tried catching the essence of Dragon Ball in the characters and the personalities and stuff. It just didn't translate very well, and usually when you have any crazy anime that you try to adapt into a movie, or especially a live action movie, it just doesn't translate very well, and Dragon Ball is 100% one of those things that just did not transfer. And they made a lot of interesting decisions, and it's, like I said, it's hard to take a high-octane anime like Dragon Ball and putting it into this, especially when, you know, you don't have any flying like you do in the anime. The key is not necessarily even, I think they mentioned, like, wind, water, and fire, which, on that note, water wasn't even an instance in this movie at all. They brought it up and it never came to pass. And they also called it airbending, which kind of made me cringe a little bit. And you know, just... This movie was so goofy, and it was so hard to take seriously. Fully 100% expected Yamcha to die, didn't get that, and I at least can respect how they made the characters recognizable again by their personalities. But, I mean, there was no... I don't know, there was just nothing to latch on to. And I think in light of recent events, if Dragon Ball had not existed before this, I'd say this would be a pretty okay movie. But the fact that Dragon Ball does exist, I constantly was making comparisons in my mind, which is not good for this movie. On top of that, maybe if this movie wasn't called Dragon Ball, it would be fine. I think this movie would be a fine concept on its own. I don't think it was anything crazy. The CGI was kind of bad. The acting was okay. It was still a bit goofy. The overall plot I really didn't care that much about, and like I said, just the whole retcon of like literally the entire story and the events of things happening, I just didn't really sit well. I didn't even really watch the original Dragon Ball, and it still bothered me because that's kind of where this movie takes place. But I don't know, this movie has charm, and the writing was just okay. The acting was also just okay. Luckily, this movie was like an hour and 23 minutes. I think if it was any longer, it would definitely suffer more. But, yeah, I definitely think this movie could have been better. And again, it suffers majorly from being compared to the anime, and I don't think I've ever seen a movie to this day, a live-action adaptation of a movie that has turned out well. Hopefully we get around to doing that at some point. As for my ranking, before letting this go on even farther, it's kind of a tough one. Like I said, I think this is definitely an experiential movie. I don't think it was great, but I don't think it was unwatchable. I think they caught a couple of concepts alright. But I'm probably going to be putting this in D+, is probably what it's looking like here. So yeah, that is my review for Dragon Ball Evolution.
As for our rankings, though, so Dylan gave this movie a fucking D+.
Are you gonna leave in his entire spiels, or you're gonna like cut them down at all?
We'll see. I haven't actually listened to them yet, so who knows?
They're all like 2 to 3 minutes, so I don't. That's a lot of Dylan yapping, but who knows if you're gonna do that. Anyway,
I mean,
Dylan,
how is that any different from a normal episode?
I mean, that's like the whole length of all the reviews you guys did last episode. Anyways,
True.
So Dylan gave it a D+. I am definitely lower than that. I think this movie has basically nothing going for it. I gave it an F+.
Holy shit.
I don't give out Fs very lightly, but this is definitely an F tier movie.
Yeah, Tanner, how about you, dude?
I also gave it an F+.
That's crazy. I don't think I'm going to be going quite that low. I'm going to go D- for me.
I think D- is fair.
Right? That's what I'm thinking, Tanichi.
And it landed at a D- overall.
Holy shit.
Yeah. This movie was absolute dog shit. If I found any sort of like comedic value in it whatsoever, I probably would have rated it a D-. But most of it was just boring and confusing, and there really isn't a ton funny about it. I think the funniest part about this movie is just them constantly doing the fucking wire flying trick for their like martial arts and shit, and it always looks terrible.
Yeah.
And they do it so much. I don't know how they had the confidence to do that so much, but it always just looked awful. And they just use it over and over and over and over again. But I digress.
Oh, so why did they use their wish to bring back Master Roshi? That was just, silly, you know?
Well, let's bring back the loser Groper instead of my fucking dad or not my dad, my grandpa who died to get this all started. Oh well.
Well, Jackson, what movie are we talking about next, dude?
My pick of the week was the 2013 film Her. This is a film I think I watched in high school. Maybe I watched it in college. Who knows? Either contexts are weird though, but yeah, this film is basically, we've got Joaquin Phoenix as Theodore. He recently got divorced, and because of that, he's really depressed. He has a hard time connecting with other people, and he ends up finding an operating system that is sweeping the nation, and it's super intelligent. It's like a hyper intelligent AI. Nowadays, it's not that crazy of a thought, but back in 2013, this is some revolutionary shit. And he falls in love with the AI. He kind of uses that AI to work through his emotions about the divorce. There's some drama with his wife and not wanting to actually go through with the divorce in the end. Him learning more about himself through the AI, and then of course the AI throughout the movie is progressively just getting smarter and smarter and smarter until it kind of snowballs to the point where they can't even connect at all anymore, and she leaves him. And then the movie kind of ends on a somber note with him and one of his friends, both kind of in the same position of being abandoned and not really knowing what to do, but kind of finding solace in each other. So it's a little bit of a hopeful ending.
Yeah, it's definitely very bittersweet, I would say.
Tanner, what's your haiku?
Here's my haiku as inspired by Her. An AI girlfriend cucks herself, then ghosts the guy. I'll stick to fleshlights.
That's fucking incredible. That's Can we edit some snap sounds?
Yeah, no, get some snaps in there.
Yeah, those were bars. Can you say that again?
Encore.
Jesus. I'll have to make a new one. This is a very well done film. I thought it was very good.
That's
a nice
honestly shocking.
story.
I was expecting to hate it.
No, I liked it. If I hated it, I would have said so during us watching the movie.
Yeah, honestly, I'm with Nico on this one. This doesn't seem like your type of movie at all. I thought you were going to come out and be like, this is fucking weird and I don't like it at all. I thought you were going to give it low B or something, probably. So you saying you like it and it's a well-made film is shocking to me as well. But yeah, give us your thoughts, man.
I love the retro-futuristic aesthetic. That's something I was really glomming onto the whole time.
He wouldn't fucking shut up about it. It looks like it's the 70s. Isn't that crazy, guys?
Just let me enjoy things. Yeah, I thought it was a nice little story, very good performance and whatnot. The only real problem I have, on one hand, I'm very glad they did not go the cliche route of, oh, the AI turns evil and obsessive and whatever. But I don't know if I really like the ending we got, where it's like, oh, she's too advanced now and she leaves. Bye. I would have liked something a bit more conclusive, I guess. Something with a bit more closure.
And this is where we disagree on films. Let's go back to, what the fuck film was it where we had that big discussion? I think it was the end of Evangelion, where about like open-ended endings and things you can interpret. This movie has a very open-ended ending, I would say. There's a lot to ponder about it in terms of like, is it a good ending? Is it a bad ending? Because I don't think the AI was a healthy relationship for him. I think he was kind of coping with it, and he mostly used it as a vehicle to better himself, just like the AI used him as a vehicle to better herself. She was learning off of him as she was also learning throughout the movie. And, you know, that's all. The ending is alluded to the entire movie. She's constantly talking about getting smarter and smarter as it goes on, so it's not like it should have been that shocking, I would say. But it wasn't healthy for both of them, I would say. I think, you know, they probably need people that are more like themselves, which is what the AI finds too, because she can't even keep up with, or Theodore can't keep up with her anymore. That's why she's seeking out having like 20 conversations with the different AIs the entire time. And I think Theodore kind of realizes that too, which is why he finds solace with his friend. I think it's a nice ending. I think they kind of just realized they weren't right for each other, and I think it makes sense overall. So I don't have a problem with it personally.
So I didn't finish this movie. If I'm understanding this correctly, his wife dies. He gets a girlfriend AI.
No, they just get divorced.
Oh, he just gets divorced.
Yeah.
And then he gets a girlfriend AI that gets smart enough to realize that their relationship is bad, and it also leaves him.
No, you are interpreting this incorrectly, but also, like, you're interpreting something you didn't watch incorrectly, so fair. But yeah, basically, him and his wife just had disagreements. His wife was more emotional than he could really handle, and because of that, he kind of, like, not shuns her a bit, but he just wasn't reciprocative of what she is as a person, and because of that, they had a falling out. He was really, you know, hurt by that because he really loved her. He thought it was fine. And he took a lot of like personal harm because of that. You know, he had like some ego issues to work through. And then he finds the AI and he can like finally connect with somebody because, you know, they're kind of like a yes man to him. But they have some like rocky parts with the relationship. They get through it. They get to the end and figure it out. And then of course she breaks up with him because like she just can't date some person that like, you know, is so simple like him.
Yeah, overall, I also agree with Jackson here. I think the ending was very good, you know? Like, ultimately, this film isn't about, like, who Theodore is actually, like, in love with throughout this whole thing. It's not about, like, oh, I want to, like, you know, get a relationship, you know, do all this shit. It's all about, like, him learning how to actually love somebody, because that's something that he obviously has trouble with throughout the film that we see. You know, like, he really like yearns for a relationship, but at the same time he really can't fucking handle something like that because, like, you know, once things start getting a little more serious with the AI, he fucking like freaks out about it. Like, he isn't able to really express that sort of love that she's wanting, as well as, like, you know, just like initially, like, when after they, like, you know, have the fucking virtual sex or whatever, it's just he's still, like, not really able to, like, think about what the other person wants. And so he's just kind of thinking about, like, oh, well, you know, I'm really not looking for a relationship or thing right now. And she's like, well, I never said anything about that. Like, you know, we were kind of talking about me here, which is something that was also reflected back in his previous marriage, where he really wasn't thinking about his wife's needs or anything like that, what she was wanting. He was just kind of focusing on himself the entire time. But, you know, at the end of the film, I definitely feel like he was able to, you know, take away some lessons. It seemed like he was, like, starting to feel that growth. But then, you know, she decided to fucking cuck him, so, oh well for him, I suppose. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is just a movie about watching Theodore's character development and the other people, and they're just vehicles for that. And he does have his character arc. He, like, finally accepts who he is. He finally understands how to love somebody, which is why his relationship with, what the fuck's her name, Samantha?
Yeah.
It starts going well again, and they start to connect with each other a lot more because he finds that confidence in himself again. Also, let's just get the elephant out of the room here. This movie is beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of really fun things with the cinematography. I think the style of it is incredible too. Tanner talked about it a bit.
Yeah, it's like retro futuristic style.
Yeah, no, like it just seems well done, but not like overbearing with what it's trying to present. I like the style a lot. I think it's I think it's a very pleasing. I think this movie's gonna age really well overall.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Even in the age of like tons of AI shit that we have right now, I think this movie printed a lot pretty fluidly, and I think it still aged pretty well. Also, the acting, it's Joaquin Phoenix. His acting was incredible throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah.
And him being the main lead for a really emotional role like this was a very good choice.
Yeah, I definitely think that, like, one of the more off-putting things for me about, like, sci-fi or, like, futuristic stories is just, like, how they fucking present the future itself. Like, the general setting, the atmosphere, it can feel very, like, a little too, like, sterile, I'd say, is a big thing. Or, like, just a little too clean and shit like that. Whereas, like, in this world, it all felt much more familiar to us, which is something I appreciated a lot. That didn't, like, really take me out of it, where it's like, oh, well, I can't really relate to this all that much. Like, all the futuristic stuff was kind of more in the background, whereas, like, the characters themselves we were focusing on had just, like, a much more, I guess, quote-unquote, realistic setting for, like, us in the modern age. Now, Tanner.
Yeah.
What exactly was it about this film that you liked so much?
I just thought it was a well-told and engaging story. See, as you were talking about your thing, I've realized a very fundamental difference with how we see this film. You were talking about, like, his relationship with the AI was kind of like, reflective of him learning how to have relationships with real people or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't see that at all, because in my mind, there's just a hard and fast line between how you interact with an AI and how you interact with people and what those interactions mean. Like, I do not interpret any of the things he's saying or doing with the AI to have any bearing on his relationships with people at all. So to me,
the movie backs you up with that too pretty consistently, so it's not a wrong way of looking at it.
Yeah, like your thing was like, he said this and that to the AI, which is like, kind of similar to how his troubles with relationships with other people were. But in my mind, I'm just like, he's talking like that because it's an AI and this is a weird situation. Like, I take it much more literally than you do.
I definitely think that he was actually in love with Samantha. It's, you can argue whether or not Samantha was actually ever in love with him because, it is an AI at the end of the day, but a super sophisticated one. This really, I guess, maybe brings up the topic of, like, can you truly love something like that if it's not like an actual person? Like, what is that, with soul or something? Who cares? Whatever. That's getting too into the weeds about it. I think it's better just to look at the relationship they had as just two people using each other for the most part. Samantha was using him to learn more about humans and just, like, evolve. And Theodore was using her to learn more about himself and emotions and boundaries and things of that nature. And they both got what they needed out of the relationship at the end. So whether or not they were, like, truly in love with each other or that worked out, I don't think really matters that much, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, I kind of go the opposite direction, where I don't view this as, like, Joaquin Phoenix's character, like, growing and improving as a person. I see this as him, like, spiraling into, like, kind of a scary place where he's gonna start secluding himself from other people, and he's fallen in love with an AI, which you shouldn't do. And he's just like, he's letting the despair of his divorce cause him to lose part of his humanity by willingly interacting with a machine. So I just have an entirely different interpretation.
Like,
yeah, and it still left him. That's
like,
crazy.
I don't see the growth. Like, it's like he grows to fail. Like, is that...
I think you guys, I mean, you can grow as a person in a relationship. Just because the relationship ended doesn't mean that there wasn't any growing that happened. People grow a lot when they're in a relationship with each other. They can learn a lot more about themselves, about how other people interact with them. And he did that. He grew a lot as a person. He worked through his emotions about the divorce. He understood it with her support. I think I would probably hard disagree on how you're viewing this movie, Tanner, but I do like that even though we have very different views about it, we still both took it well positively at the end of the day.
So Tanner, you enjoyed this film, but what about it do you feel like makes it really stand out from films like, let's say, Midnight Cowboy or All My Friends Hate Me?
Those ones are stupid and gay.
I see.
Bars.
What is there more to say about it? How about some negatives for this film? Personally, I think this movie is really fucking slow, which generally I'm not a huge, I don't normally take that as like a big negative, but this movie is really slow. Like, we were like pretty early on in like the opening segments of it, and I thought we were much farther than we were, but only like half an hour into this like 2+ hour movie. I think it definitely goes a little bit too far in that regard. It's a very artistic-y movie, and because of that, they have a lot of like long, drawn-out shots and stuff. I definitely think that Theodore is it's a very awkward movie, I would also say. There's some scenes that are really fucking awkward, which is like the point of them. But also, Theodore is like some weird stuff that you wouldn't actually really think somebody would do. Maybe I just don't understand Theodore more as a character, but like he does some weird stuff that I don't like fully think is very realistic. But yeah, generally I think my biggest gripe with this movie is just like the pacing is absurdly slow. I think it's a well-paced movie in terms of like where it sequences its content, but it just has a lot of like padding for artistic stuff, which I think could probably have passed.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that.
Nico, a real answer to your question is I like the setting and the characters in this one more.
Okay.
Like Midnight Cowboy, I actively just do not like our main characters, and so like it being a character-based story where I don't like the characters just means the movie is nothing for me. And then All My Friends Hate Me, yeah, I like actively dislike all of our characters in that one, and so
that's fair enough. I think the movie kind of wants you to.
I guess that makes sense. I guess, like, one more positive here before we, like, get onto the rankings, and also before we hear what Dylan's thoughts on the movie are. I'm assuming it's going to be rather dire, but one more thing I do want to say about it is that I do really appreciate, like, how confident, I guess, the film is with, like, the story it's trying to tell, because I could very easily see this film, like, having, like, a big B-plot where it's, like, some fucking scientist or, like, programmers working on the AIs, and they're like, oh no, it seems like the AIs are, they're learning at a much faster rate than we would have expected. What's going on here? And then, like, a fucking shitstorm erupts once, like, all the AIs, like, fucking go off into their own space or whatever, and it's like, oh no, what's going on? This is a nightmare! Oh! I like that they, just kept the story small and focused, and didn't do some stupid bullshit like that.
The only real hints we get at, like, what might be happening in the larger world with the AIs is when he's talking to, what's her name, Sam, the redhead, at work, and she's like, oh, our coworker started dating an AI, and there's someone else's AI. Like, it's just these little snippets that, oh, weird stuff is happening with all the AIs. Okay.
Yeah, you can see people, like, walking in the streets talking to them all the time as well. They have some shots of that happening. So there's definitely more going on behind the scenes. I agree with Nico on that, too. This movie is definitely very small in scale, even though it didn't have to be, and I could have seen them going much more broad with what they're trying to present. But yeah, no, this movie is very, very close in scope, which I can appreciate a lot for, like, an emotional piece like this.
And before you fucking type in the comments, we know what they're called OSs, that's what they're referred to throughout the movie, and not AIs. Fuck you. And here's Dylan's thoughts on the movie.
Alright, so this is my review of Her. And I think call me crazy for thinking this, I think this is a very interesting chick flick. And I know you guys are probably thinking I'm crazy for saying that, but I don't know, it's just the vibe it was giving me in general. I do think it was an interesting concept, but there was just not anything in the movie that gave me anything to latch on to. This movie was one heck of an emotional roller coaster. Like, it was always throwing me for loops, and I was kind of getting the purpose of the story, but I mean, it is just a weird concept in general that, dating AI or OS AI or whatever you want to call it, just basically dating your computer, and for some reason that was a point that was stressed as, oh, it's not just a computer in this movie, which, it's kind of whatever. And I get it's a movie depicting this man's life and his dating life and what he can handle, what he can't handle. He's learning how to handle his emotions, and his socialness and all this kinds of stuff. And the movie kind of goes just back and forth between him evolving as a person emotionally or mentally or whatever, and then finding out his faults and flaws, and then Sam, the AI, going and advancing beyond him, and then it's just kind of like a race between the two, and eventually just ends up being, he kind of leaves her in a way of, like, he's not sure what he wants, and he's just emotionally disconnected. At the very end of the movie, She ends up leaving him because, AI things is kind of whatever. The ending just kind of... The ending was just kind of whatever. The movie, at the very end of the day, fell really flat for me. I don't think it was a bad movie. It just didn't do anything particularly well. Like, even the emotional connections it was attempting to do were just not there. There were no strong points in the movie. There's nothing that really stood out in my mind. And, I don't really know what else to say about this movie. I guess there was some character resolution in the end. He finally figured out how to be good on his own, which is, I guess, I would say is a good thing. I don't know. I don't really understand what this movie was trying to reveal at the very end. I think it was just, trying to show that relationships are complicated and difficult no matter who you are, what you do, or what you are, whatever you want to say. But, my general overall for this movie is it fell a little flat. Didn't think it was particularly great. Didn't think it was awful. So with that, I think this movie lands at a C for me personally.
Wow.
Boo! Boo!
Yeah, fuck that
you,
guy. Yeah, as you heard from him, he gave it a fucking D. Wait, what did he give it? I don't remember.
He gave it a solid C.
He gave it a C. Fuck that guy. Tanner, what are you giving it?
I gave this one an A.
Whoa, I like that. I'm also gonna give it an A. Jackson, how about you?
Yeah, I gave it an S-. I think this is an incredibly well done movie. I don't think the pacing issues were enough to really drag it down a shit ton for me. This is definitely a hard movie to recommend, I would say.
Oh yeah, 100%.
For a lot of reasons, but I really enjoyed it. This is definitely my style of movie, unsurprisingly. I picked it a lot. I picked it because I liked it a lot back in the day, and I still liked it now. Probably even more so now because I can understand more about like what makes a good film a good film. So yeah, there we go.
And where does it land, dude?
Dude, oh yeah, I forgot about that part. It lands at an A- overall. Honestly, Dylan's ranking of C does not bring it down as far as I expected it to.
Shocking.
Speaking of Dylan, his pick for this week was the 2006 film Happy Feet, which I guess, Nico, you can give the explanation of.
Are you sure you don't want our special guest Tanichi to talk about it?
No, I think he's a little bit, there's some poison in the pond if you were to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, so Happy Feet. Happy Feet is a film about emperor penguins. They're up in the Antarctica or some fucking bullshit, and they love to sing. And so our main character's father has him as a little egg, but he drops him as an egg, which causes him not to sing, but instead he is a dancer, which is a gay allegory. And throughout the film, he's trying to come out to his father and the rest of society, but they just won't take it, so they fucking cast him out as he goes and tries to find humanity, the aliens as it were, in hopes that they can help their family get some fucking fish. And he gets abducted and does some little tippity taps for the aliens, and they like it so much they send him back to the Antarctica where he teaches everyone to dance.
And my haiku, as inspired by Happy Feet, all penguins can sing. Mumble has a birth defect. The funny birds dance.
So like that's one thing that was fucking me up throughout the whole movie. Is his name Mumble?
Yeah.
I thought it was like Mambo or something.
No, it's Mumble.
What a horrible name.
Tanichi, how'd you like Happy Feet, dude?
This movie's fucking awful. The gay allegory doesn't make sense because he steals some dude's woman.
Well, that's because you're not looking at it as an allegory, Tinichi. I personally think this movie is not a gay allegory. I think it is an anti-religion propaganda film.
There we go.
And there's a lot of things you can take away, right? So, you see the scenes of them, like, worshiping their god. You see the dad is, like, thinking about his mom at that instance, which is, he's not paying attention to God during their ceremony. And because of that, his child has fallen. His child is a heretic. He is opposite of what their religious society wants them to do. They all sing. That's a big part of them. Their souls find their soulmates. What they're singing. He doesn't have that. He's missing a part of himself. He's not one of the tribe.
Is Mumble a Christ figure?
Is he an antichrist figure?
He is an antichrist figure. In fact, the bad ending of this movie happens because he converts his entire cult, potentially you could view it as, because that's what the movie's trying to portray, to a bunch of heretics by introducing them and breaking down their society from that way. They have a lot of things like that too. I got the fat Adelie penguin, however you pronounce them. you know, they're like showing him as like, you know, he's totally talking out of his ass. He's just like a fake fucking scam artist, basically. They do a lot of stuff like that. You know, this movie hates religion. Anyways, that's my thoughts.
I agree.
Now, Jackson, why was it that you weren't able to get through this movie on our initial watching, do you think? Was it just that fucking boring? Because you passed out like at the 10-minute mark, and we're just out of it throughout basically the entire thing after that.
Oh yeah, I was fucking snoozing. What can I say? I don't know. I mean, this is definitely a really boring movie. I think when I watched it again with Tanichi, we were riffing on it a lot, and because of that, it was more entertaining.
Okay.
We weren't doing a ton of riffing on it because it's just some generic kids movie at the end of the day. There isn't a huge amount to take.
There was this one really jarring scene I really would love to mention.
Go for it.
They really build up him being in, you know, the fucking the like encampment, the enclosure, the zoo.
Yeah.
Right? He's even going crazy, throwing the fish at the wall. But the one little white girl he taps to gets immediately gets him in a release, and that it's the most insane transition because it's literally like him tapping his feet. The little girl smiles, then everyone's like, "Holy shit, she's smiling," and then they all take photos, and then he's back in Antarctica.
Yeah, no, they have like some fucking crazy sequence of like a bunch of people, like the government's breaking down. There's riots in the street to save the penguins and stuff. It all happens so fucking quickly. And then when Tanichi and I were watching it, when he's walking back to his tribe, we thought it was a fucking dream. We saw Maria, or whatever her name was, with the big dude and all the kids, and we were like, okay, so he got cucked. He's having a nightmare of his love, you know, cucking him basically, and everybody hating him. We literally thought it was a fucking dream, but no, it wasn't a dream. It was just some fake out with, you know, the fucking chick just being like a teacher with the other guy. But we actually were like so confused and baffled at what we had seen in the scenes prior that we actually thought we were watching a dream sequence, and we were like, we rewind it like a couple of times, like what the fuck is going on? Yeah, the ending of this movie is an absolute disaster. It has all these themes they're building on with the environmental stuff, and then it just fucking throws them all at you in like a couple of minutes at the end in the most forced way possible.
They run out of budget very quickly.
The ending of this movie is absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
It fucking throws away everything they were building the entire film.
Yeah, 100% the ending for this film is probably the worst part of it.
It's so baffling. Like, how did that happen? There's definitely some good things. I think the cinematography, especially for a 2006 film, is pretty well done for the most part. They have some really good scenes. I think, like, the scenes where they're getting fucked around with the orcas, or the scenes, you know, of, like, them doing, like, the high-speed action, like, things through the ice, or, like, when they're, you know, walking through, like, the massive, like, wind snowstorm. Were pretty atmospheric, and I think graphically this movie holds up relatively well, especially for a 2006 film. But also, I just don't like the main character. I think he's really fucking unlikable and annoying the entire film. I think the plot is pretty generic overall. Most of the characters are really stupid. The Adelie Penguins are kind of fun. I think it's funny that they've got like the guy choking out for like half the film following them, and he's just choking out the entire time on this massive fucking hike through all these death-defying things.
Yeah, that part was fucking baffling to me. I felt like I remembered them just like cutting him loose, like very shortly after they saw him choking.
Nah, he was just choking to death for like a few days on this like massive hike up mountains and shit.
Yeah, like what the fuck was that shit?
Yeah, this movie is average at best and has really disastrous parts of it that bring it down a lot.
Yeah, honestly, like the fucking part where they're like all huddled up in the snow, like all the fathers just carrying the eggs and they're all singing and shit like that, chanting, like fucking, dude, chills, okay, legitimate chills during that part. Like if you looked at my arms, I would have had goosebumps a mile high, okay? But then, you know, of course it's like all bounced out by them having the gut-wrenching scene, and gut-wrenching in the bad way of me wanting to fucking vomit, of the elephant seals just slurping up their own snot. Like what the fuck is that shit?
Also, in Tanner, I wasn't talking about the elephant seal. I was talking about the like the sea lion that was chasing him. That's the Robin Williams, or not Robin Williams. What the fuck was it? Steve Irwin. I think maybe he was an elephant seal. I don't fucking know. He actually
elephant
kind of
seals had Australian accents.
I was gonna say, now
so.
thinking about it now, the elephant seals did sound more like Steve Irwin. I don't know who the fuck the sea lion was, but you know, I digress. Maybe you're right all along. What can I say?
Now I gotta look this shit up.
Yeah. Tanner, how'd you feel about this movie?
Fuck you guys, I like this movie.
Yeah, why? Give us some reasons.
I think it's a delightful little film that tells a neat little story. I think it's just very cute and cozy, and I can imagine watching this with my kids someday.
Yeah.
I'm vomiting in my mouth right
It's
now.
really bad Footloose starring penguins.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is.
Footloose is old and boring.
Yeah, just the whole concept of this society is really... I mean, honestly, you gotta suspend your disbelief a little bit here. But you're telling me this whole society is penguins pop out the womb, and they just have some fucking random pop song that's in their head, and that's just, like, who they are as a person? So weird. I mean, like, they stick with it.
I actually
kind of
like that idea, personally.
I'm not saying it's like a downside. I just think it's fucking weird.
Okay.
I don't particularly like it, but it's not like a negative to the film for me. It's just weird. I do think it's kind of stupid that they pop out the women just speaking full English and they're just like totally chill with that. Also, the main character just never fucking molts. How is he able to swim? That's like the whole point of them like molting is that they're able to swim. They're faster with it and they don't absorb the water with their down feathers anymore, which helps them, stay warm while they're under there. It's stupid as shit.
Yeah, and dude, the reason he doesn't molt is so that we can tell him apart from the other penguins, okay? Did you consider that at all?
Yeah, no, they all have the fucking same otherwise. Yeah, no. His design looks stupid, and it doesn't make any sense.
I do agree. I think his design is fucking dumb.
Steve Irwin was the elephant seal. Jackson's retarded.
I'm not retarded. I agreed with you in the end.
Well,
I just knew he was like one of those big blubbery guys, whether that be a sea lion or a elephant seal.
Yeah, it was one of the animals with an Australian accent.
I just looked it up. Fucking emperor penguins don't even, like, when their mating behavior isn't even like chirping or singing. It's like dancing. So Mumbo was right the entire time.
Based. What does that say about this movie? Anyways, any final thoughts? I really don't have a whole ton to talk about this movie. It's just really...
What does this say about society?
Dylan, what are your thoughts on this movie?
Alright, so this is my review of Happy Feet. I remember this being a childhood golden movie. This was an absolute awesome movie when I was a kid. I loved watching it. I liked watching Mumble dance around. Anyway, that's aside the point. I think this movie still looks great for its time. I think the voice acting is amazing. I just think this movie is cute and it's charming. I don't think it's super overbearing on any of its points. And it's just overall a likable movie. And what's crazy is I understand so much more about this movie now, as opposed to when I was a kid. There were a lot of jokes, whether they were visual or audio, something they said that I miss out on. And oddly enough, at the same time, having more in-depth knowledge of, maybe just like not the pop classic songs that were in there, but knowing more songs, I think makes this movie just a little bit more fun. And I think the CGI in this movie, considering a majority, if not all the movie is CGI, minus maybe the parts where they're meeting people. I'm not sure if that town in Antarctica was also CGI. If it was, I think it was pretty well done as well. But I just think the mashing of CGI with reality there was really nicely done. This movie's not too awfully long. I think it's just under. But I think that's fine. This movie didn't feel like it dragged on. I was smiling through a majority of it. I laughed at it, gave it a couple chuckles. But yeah, no, I really enjoy this movie. I don't even think it might just be the childhood nostalgia kind of carrying me through it. But even then, I still think this movie was great. I don't really have any other particular thoughts on this movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. So I am going to be giving this movie an A.
Wow, that guy fucking loved it. Ain't that crazy?
Yikers.
Boo!
insane.
It's a good thing he's not here today.
True. We'd be roasting him alive if he was on this episode.
I mean, what's different from a normal episode?
Yeah, true. That's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Par for
I have
the
a
course, as they say.
question.
What up?
Because I technically watched this with you, Lava, is this my first official review?
Correct.
Yeah, F minus.
Based.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Tanichi, we did actually, I don't know when it was, I think it was like a month ago maybe, we did enact a new system in which your review or your rank doesn't actually count towards it. Like, it still shows on the website, but it doesn't actually count.
you.
It doesn't count, yeah, specifically you. It doesn't count towards the actual overall ranking of the film, unless you've watched like a certain percentage of all the movies that we've seen. So unfortunately, it'll show on the website, but it's not going to actually
What's the
attribute to the overall
percentage?
rank.
3.5?
I think it's like 90%. It's something really high. You have to watch the majority of the movies to have your rank actually count towards you.
I'm
overall.
never
It's basically
appearing on this
TLDR.
fucking podcast again.
Listen, man, if you just go through the backlog and start watching all the movies appear on the podcast and rank them that same week, you can get her done.
Yeah,
you could catch up. You just have to watch 160 movies, my boy.
Yeah.
You got it. Or not even that. We're at over 200 now.
Yeah, we're over. What are you talking about? You're using like 4 months ago figures.
My bad. For some reason, I still think we've only watched like 150 movies, even though we're well past that at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Tanichi, it's to help, curb like guests coming on here and giving movies ridiculous ranks like F-, and then they don't have a chance to like re-rank at any point in the future, so it's just permanently blemishing
the fuck are you
film's
talking
rank.
about? What did you give this movie? What did you give this movie?
Let me just say, this rule was enacted specifically because of some disgruntled people that did not like the rank Blake gave to the first Spider-Verse film, which brought it down from an S+ or only S+ to an S. I think he gave it like an A or something.
He gave an A, yeah.
Yeah, and it knocked it down. So yeah, we enacted this rule because like, okay, that's fucking stupid. Your rank's dumb. It shouldn't count. So now it doesn't.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of that rule, yours doesn't too.
Which,
but
to be fair, you gave an F-, so that also shouldn't count either way. But I'm personally giving this film a C-.
Never appearing on this fucking podcast.
I like how he says that like that's a threat.
Tanner, where are you giving it?
I'll give it a B.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to Nico here. I gave it a D+. I think the ending, this is generally like a C tier film, but the ending is so rushed and dog shit that is inexcusable for the most part, and it really drags the film down for me. And then, of course, Dylan gave it an A for some reason. What the fuck is this guy smoking? And that landed at a B- overall.
Well, this movie's for kids, so it doesn't have to be good. You can't judge it like an other movie.
I hope he wasn't actually. I'm very curious to actually hear his review. We didn't listen to anything he said. We just got his like final rankings prior to us doing this recording.
So what's his final ranking then, Jackson?
I already said it, you dumb bitch. What? It's B-.
Oh, holy shit! Oh my god, that's too high.
Now it's time to pick more movies, right?
No.
Mm-hmm. No?
Unfortunately, folks, we have to announce this is the end of Guapish at the Movies and Guapish in general. We're sorry. We hope you enjoyed it. We hit 100 subs, though, now, so, this experiment's over. Thank you very much for all the support. I'm kidding, of course. Thank you very much for all the support. We really appreciate finally hitting 100 subs. Years in the making. Years. We thought we'd hit this a long time ago, but no time like the present, I suppose. So, Tanner, what movie are you going to be picking this week, dude?
Well, boys, it's the last week of Anime-April. That's where I pick movies about animals in April. And for this one, I want to do something fun and funny. So I'm picking Barnyard.
Holy shit, that's actually a fucking banger choice, Tanner. Congratulations. I actually really like this one. I can't fucking wait to see it. As for my pick, though, folks, I think that I'm going to be going for... Yeah, this will be a fun one as well. We will be watching the very first live-action adaptation, Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Okay, what's the Patreon?
Roll that Patreon, Jackson.
Our lucky Patreon was, in fact, Lava Skin. Thank you for requesting the 1979 film Alien, which will be our third movie we watched this week.
Whoa. And, of course, if you, too, would like to get your movies picked out and recommended in the Patreon, Tanner's going to tell you exactly how you can achieve such a thing.
That's right. Head on over to patreon.com/Guapish or click on the Patreon link on the Guapish.com website. And for only $1 a month, you can subscribe to our Patreon, which will get you access to our pre-Guap show, early access to every episode of the podcast, access to the Discord where you can request movies just like Lavaskin just did, and also even request topics for us to bring up on the podcast, and you get 500 slime coins, and you get your name read out at the end of every episode, just like fucking, I don't know, who should we make do it? Okay, Jackson, you do it.
I said Tanichi. Tanichi should do it.
Oh, okay.
He's sharing his screen.
Shout out Jackson.
Thanks.
Oh, I'm actually doing it. What am I reading? Just the first line?
Yeah, just whatever the name is.
All right. Shout out Netta Grant. Ralm Rajani? Kyler Nicole. Oh my goinky sploinky. Tapora Man. Joshua Bean. I'm gay for Godzilla. Tutbot. Lucas Let It, Hunter, and Jacob Edwards. Thank you all.
Why do you
for your
sound so
support.
inquisitive about like every single name?
Because every time I've ever seen someone do this, it's either like a quick scroll or it's like you I don't know, you emphasize it a little bit to
You're
show
really
the shout out.
taking
I
your
don't
time on this
fucking
one,
know.
dude. The Patreon subs are gonna love this one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why they pay to hear their name.
Of course.
And of course, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.